Got it. Hey, everybody. Only me and Summer here. This is going to be a really short episode because basically not a lot happened other than the one big thing, a character we've all been wanting to see. And we were 1,000% right about how she was, to a degree. But, Summer, go nuts.
All right. So I'm just gonna literally go down my notes here. Snarky Weiss is back. I enjoy that. I found this kind of neat. I like that Oscar was actually talking with Team Ruby about everything at the beginning there. Like he was part of that little meeting.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit.
I thought that was just nice that they're showing that he is part of this group, actually. He's not always being sidelined. Mm-hmm. I also wrote Double Weiss, so don't remember why. Huh? Okay. I think it was a joke off of them using her to sneak around the house.
Oh, okay, that could be.
And those were like my main highlights there. I know it's like literally all the beginning there.
Gotcha.
But I do have a little more to say a little further in.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there's not a lot to go on here other than the few obvious things. I was a person that was like, it'd be weird if it happened because same-sex couples are always on the other end of the spectrum normally with Ruby. It's almost always women. You can't tell me they're not borderlining and on flirting with Crow and Clover here.
So, yeah, that was the picture I was going to pull up for later. But you can't deny this energy here. I can't tell what I'm doing.
You got a massive glare going on there, girl.
I think it's working. It's not working.
But either way, the whole wish us luck in there. They can't be in here. Aren't they lucky to have you or something like that? And then the most I'm a 12-year-old schoolgirl smile I have ever seen a man give in my entire life was given from Crow to Clover. They're either secretly dating or they are the closest friends of anyone on this show. They are out doing
hard. There's hard crushing on both sides.
They are out doing Sun and Neptune right now, and that is something. All right, my phone shut off. Alrighty. There was that.
Oh, Klein was fired.
Yeah, I predicted that. Unfortunately, Klein's gone. Klein is just out. That makes me so mad. He was one of the best characters that the Atlas group had. One of the best setups for a character ever. And I have a feeling he'll get rehired when Fit possibly hits the Shan, with what we're going to get into later.
I have a feeling he'll pop up possibly. Like, he might have been fired, but that doesn't mean he's gone.
Yeah, he'll have a job somewhere else. But can we, before we get too far, can we talk about how Schnee Manor is bigger than Beacon?
Yeah, that house
the entire academy.
They have a ballroom. They have a separate area just for certain dining.
Like, they had that full pull-up strip, and then they had the main mansion, and then they had 2 corridors that are bigger than, 3 times the size of the dorm rooms at Beacon. That's a compound!
I wonder if it's big because they're the Schnee family, or maybe a lot of people actually have lived in that house.
I don't know, but it's like unless your minors are living there, why do you need that big of a house? And this is just me being an adult, but heating bills, cleaning that thing. Weiss would oh boy. I'm glad Klein's out of there. Can you imagine dealing with that whole place? But
probably he has all the personalities.
Exactly. So we got to meet Mama Schnee. She's drunk. But she uses alcohol to deal with her issues. She wasn't full on tripping over herself slurring, which made me happy. And for those of you who watch Full Metal Alchemist, good old Winry Rockwell, Caitlin Glass is the one who voices her. That was really cool. Their animations also, wow, did they make Willow look like she does not care about her life anymore. Just like the wrinkles in her face, how Caitlin was portraying her voice, her walk, the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
It
And
was
then
great.
there is an interesting about her. She's super smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she's drunk, but she's like coherent-ish.
And man, she might be my favorite mom now for a couple of things. One, she was openly upset to see Weiss back at the house. And two, when she asked if she was staying, Weiss said no, and she was happy because she does not want her kids near Jacques. That brings me to three. She will happily put up with his crap till her kids are gone. And then I'm assuming that's when she's going to leave. She wants to make sure her kids have a somewhat not shitty upbringing. That's why she's putting herself through everything. And then she brings up Whitley. Whitley got left there with them. When you put that in that context, if Whitley is literally just doing this to appease his father and he's not a little dickbag, which he has been without his father being next to him, which is the caveat, I will excuse a lot of things if you're going to put it into that context. But the other thing, she's literally tapped the house.
Oh yeah, she's got hidden cameras, meaning she's got evidence on what's going on.
She does. And the first time I saw that, I thought it was a picture. It's not. It's a video. So she heard the whole deal. But also, it wasn't just to catch him in shady business deals. Her reason and why she's climbing the charts and mothers for me is that she did it to keep you kids safe just in case. And then she couldn't talk. She was ready for stuff to go down and ready to pin Jacques to the wall with whatever to make sure her kids were safe. She does not care about herself. She cares about her kids.
Which implies a lot of how the dad is with his family, and especially with her.
Exactly. And that must drive him up the wall that she only cares about her kids and not anything else. Shocker. A mother cares, and Jacques can't deal with it because he doesn't care about his kids. But
It does set up sympathy for I almost called him Shitley, Whitley.
It does. Oh, it totally does. And if that is how it is, all Shitley proclaiming will go back. It will. But we need to make sure that's actually how it is. And he's not a little dank bag initially, and he's not doing it just for his father. But the other interesting thing before we just get into whatever's, before we get into the meeting, when they get out of the meeting, White and Winter has her explosion. I was really shocked to see Robin there, by the way. But Penny being a robot might be more human than the humans are in this series. She had maybe 3 lines there where she's like, I have a lot of emotions going on in this house. And then she goes to Penny, I guess you wouldn't understand. Penny took it personally as, oh, I'm a robot. I don't understand emotions. And then she's like, no, how I handled myself. And she's like, I don't understand. You were speaking from your heart. And she said, yeah, I guess I should have just fallen in line and did what they told me to do. And then Penny point blank says, yeah, I guess I don't understand.
Which ties in with what Ironwood said about Penny. He said he has control over her.
Yeah. He's just like, Penny is realizing that one person having absolute command over people and not having free will is wrong. The person based on a puppet is realizing this.
There's no strings on her, Ty.
There isn't. I appreciate that. And you want to know who she learned that from? Her dad, Pietro, because he is the freaking best. But other than that, Winter exploding at her father for not being able to buy people's trust, and Robin smiling at her because she said it. That's the other main thing we need to get to. I think we're going to have another episode or two just at Schnee Manor, because if this revelation of Weiss, if she watches that video and then storms in on that meeting and Jacques gets busted, that would be awesome. If his reign of terror only lasted like 3 days. You still there, Summer?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. I was looking at something I wrote.
Okay, the screen was getting kind of glitchy. I wasn't sure if you left.
Oh.
Then the other thing, when the ominous cut to Watts sitting on top of that building, did he like turn off the power to the city plus like a weather inhibitor?
So
because it went for
did something to the one building, the lights were going off. I don't know if it was touching all the buildings though.
But like, I
But
saw a
the snow
bunch of
did
the
start to
power
fall,
going
yeah.
off, and that one building powered down, and it went from rain instantly stopped to snow falling. Did they have like a weather system or like a precipitation guard so that they wouldn't get more snow than needed down in Mantle?
See, I was kind of curious if that was like something like actually set up, or if that was just supposed to be for tone.
I don't know.
Because it can be read either way. Because Rain to Snow has a lot of themes to it and writing and all that, and Watts literally just hacking into Atlas again just
Yeah.
sets up a lot of stuff on him.
Yeah, that's weird. Watts is getting to be, oh man.
He's honestly such an interesting villain at this point, and I really hope they focus on just him. Like, I know there's coming, but can we just focus on him for now?
This is the reason why, and I have talked with Crow about this so much. They need to get rid of Cinder.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the others are held back because Cinder's always having to be up front.
Exactly, and now everyone's waiting for Cinder and Neo to get there so they can have one more fight, and then all of a sudden, okay, now she's gone. Watts alone could carry 3 seasons on his back, if not more, just focusing on him. And then you've got Tyrion on top of that, and you still have Hazel and other people that we introduced. There's so much going on. We just need to, that's a whole nother rant. We just need to have Cinder done. Good God, does she need to be done? She was cool for as long as we had her. That should have been season 4, maybe. We should not be treading into season 7 and we still have her.
I agree. I feel like Salem's got this whole crew that we can explore.
Speaking of that, we still have to do stuff with Salem herself.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't left that castle. And yet we still have to deal with everybody else. She's been making crims, yeah, to get them to bring them to her, so she still won't leave that castle. If she can. I don't know. That's something interesting. But yeah. Watts is awesome. We don't know where Tyrion is.
I'm just really enjoying him as a villain.
Oh, he's good. And like seeing, man, all I've ever known Chris Sabat for was Vegeta, which I was not that much into Dragon Ball past the Cell Saga and stuff like that. And then My Hero Academia, which I haven't gotten into yet, much to the chagrin of Crow and everybody else at the place where I work. They want to beat me on a daily basis, and I'm not into it.
I want to beat you now because it's a great show.
But it's like, Watts has had maybe a cumulative, an entire episode worth of screen time total. Mm-hmm. And he's more interesting than Cinder ever has been.
See, I agree with that. He's way more interesting without all this information being needed. I'm just like, I like him. He's actually very smart and cunning compared to Cinder.
Yep. I agree completely. He's one of the best written characters, best backgrounded characters that they have. And he was the one at the start when they had that like villain group meeting. He was the one where I was like, literal mustache twirling douchebag. Yep, not gonna like him whatsoever. And then it just went. This season, his stock skyrocketed.
He was your 180 character.
He was another one of them. I mentioned Nora was one. I never really liked her, but she really became an MVP. But like, yeah, he was the total 180. And then when you look back, you see Watts' emblem on the freaking hacking stuff for Volume 3. He was doing good before we even had him as a character.
No, I agree.
Man, so good. But we're on. Have they said how many episodes we have left in this volume? Is it going to be 12 like normal?
I was going to say, I'm assuming it's the usual 12. Because I know that it's going to be on break now.
Yep. Did it break this week and then back next week, or is it on break 2 weeks?
That part I don't remember. I know Crow sent that screenshot of it.
He did, yeah, because Carrie sent out a
tweet about it.
A tweet about it, yeah. I think they're off 1 week. But
I'm assuming it's just the 1 week.
Yeah. They said they're ahead on episodes.
I was gonna say, yeah, they are ahead of episodes, so I'm sure they could pick back up if they wanted.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, and like we said, Winter had the explosion. We actually met that there's a decent amount of people on this Atlas board. One of them was voiced by Chad James from Screw Attack, or should say used to be Screw Attack. It works at Rooster Teeth. I can't remember who the girl was, but I didn't think there was going to be that many people.
But I do. Yeah. I do like they're showing us this relationship Winter's building with Penny, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sister-like, which is cute because it does show that other side to Winter. Like you get this episode shows a lot about Winter, like that little joke with her in Ironwood when he tells her maybe we should smile, and she says you would have to pay me to do it.
Yep. Winter's been getting a lot of love.
I just love his little chuckles when things make him laugh, by the way, because he laughs a little.
Yeah, and like, man, a lot of people. We're gonna keep going on Winter for a little bit here, and then we're gonna go to Ironwood. Winter, she's been getting all the talkings to from her and Ironwood have been getting the talkings to from everyone. Weiss, it's been hammering down that Winter should not just follow orders. From Weiss, Penny, I want to say somebody else talked to her, but she's been getting
kind of argue the whole incident of her saying you have to earn trust and her dad turning that around on them could also factor into that lesson.
That is true. But the other person, and we kind of got a glimpse of it in the last episode, how much he is just on the breaking point. James, again, just let himself get berated hardcore. The resolve on that man, he's either going to stay strong as steel, or when that breaking point happens, it's going to be bad. And
he's going to have a bad fall, I feel.
Man. And I like Ironwood so much this season. He's another one that's getting so much love, and he's so good. I don't want Ironwood. I don't want that beard to be evil. I don't. That'd be the best evil. Animated beard ever.
I don't think he could go evil. It literally is. He's the type of guy that's used to having control, and Salem took that away, and now he doesn't know how to keep control, and it's really constantly getting taken from him.
I shouldn't say go evil. I should say go nuts.
Yeah, he's definitely going to do that.
Yeah, and he is a person that is used to having, some version of not total, but just minimal control to where he can at least have a situation not be bad for him, but medium. It doesn't have to be good. It just doesn't have to be bad. And since Volume 3, he's never had that. His best attempt at that was putting up the, gosh dang it, not embargo, closing the borders for Atlas. And that was his best attempt, and he was doing really good until the election happened, and now Jacques being Jacques. And can you think of, like I said, we're pretty much done talking, and it's only 17 minutes. Is there anyone in this show outside of Jacques that you think the entire fandom more collectively wants to kick their nuts clean to their head?
I mean, to a degree, there's, without getting into the fandom drama, actually, probably Whitley at times here and there still, but I think this episode might teeter that a bit.
And yeah,
because is the intent.
It is, because even when they started, she asked like where Klein is, and then Whitley's like, "Yeah, that's a really interesting way to say I'm glad to see you too, sis." And like he even stops to talk to her, and like you can feel, I don't want to say this, like you could barely hear what they were saying, but in the background when they're talking about how to get rid of Whitley, you could hear Whitley bragging that he's gotten like clearance from something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, he said something about that.
I think it's he doesn't know how to talk without being the way he is, because how do I want to say that? It's like he's learned that from his dad, that's how you can talk, because he hasn't learned any other form of talking, because like him and his sisters just never got along. So maybe he's just trying to be civil, but he legitimately can't.
I mean, if you're trying to think of him as like an actual kid in this situation, he's the youngest in his family. His older sister was already pretty distant. Weiss was definitely following through. I don't want that beard to be evil. Losing my train of thought. Then you got the younger brother. His sisters are super close. Like, they don't need anyone else. And you kind of seen that in just things that have been mentioned between what Weiss has said about her sister.
Yep.
The mom is definitely emotionally closed off, and dad, who even cares, is probably the only one who actually did give him some kind of attention. And that's probably why Whitley does cling to his dad.
Yeah, and it's like, and there was that conversation, it was in Volume 4. Yeah, because she left the house at the end of Volume 4. The whole, how like Whitley has, he almost has to try and take charge in his life in any way that he can, because he has a little talk with Weiss where, are you jealous that me and Winter have our semblances and you don't?
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh man, that was the moment in Volume 4 where I'm like, is Whitley only Jacques' kid? Which then it wouldn't make sense unless he had an affair, because obviously he's Winter and Weiss's dad from the same mom.
And he looks way more like the mom too. Like he's got her same skin.
Yeah, that is true.
Now that we've seen Mama Schnee.
Yeah. It's like, he's just man, the more I think about this, it's really hard for me to talk kindly about Whitley for the little that we have now that we're starting to get up.
I was gonna say, I feel like you can get some headcanons at this point now. Like I did with the whole, he's the little brother who got nothing really.
Yeah. And it's like, again, this is going to tie in really close to the last time we did a review talking about Pietro with dads that were piles of crap and then dads that are good. I had a bad dad. I had an abusive dad. I didn't turn out like Whitley did, but I can see.
Sorry.
I am Tai Yang and I talk for the Schnees. I can see how, and I had, in a lot of kids my age that had to deal with that and turned out different ways. I can see how in trying to make someone who makes your life hell on a daily basis, you're going to have moments where you're done fighting and you're just going to put up with how you want to put up with them to make it through your day. Whitley, who, Weiss is 18 at this point. She left for Beacon when she was 17.
Do we know how much younger he is than her?
That's what I'm trying to think about right now. I am guessing he's 15 from the looks of him. 14, 15, something like that. Because he can't be below 10, and he can't be much younger than 15. Because otherwise, Jacques is it is out of control, switching errors to like a 10-year-old, which it's whatever. It's your family. You can control him longer. Like, Whitley has the most to put up with his dad for the longest time. So,
definitely, because again, that whole younger factor.
Yeah, but yeah, is there anything I'm missing here that we didn't? Oh, small detail I didn't notice until someone put it on Tumblr. The emblem of the car that Ironwood shows up in is a raptor.
Yeah, I did notice that.
I have no clue what that's about, unless we're going to see a raptor Grim that they base that car on. That would be awesome, because they've said all the Grim in Atlas are prehistoric looking things. If they had dinosaurs, I'm going to lose it. But
I guess the only other thing you could really talk about is Robin's involvement. Yeah, I agree with that. I think he is supposed to be like the same age as Oscar.
That would make sense, because they're around the same height. And Oscar's more mature, obviously, because he's he has a very different situation. He has a father figure literally living in his head. Oh God, to hear those two have a conversation.
Oscar has 3 dads.
True. Yeah, he does.
He's
that
just
is very
collecting
true.
them.
He's just he collects them like Pokemon.
If Crow hooks up with Clover, he'll get a 4th dad. So he's really banking.
He's going to get so many PS5s for Christmas. You have no idea.
You get one for each house.
Exactly. I'm not trying to break up being a kid of divorce, but when you're a kid of divorce, you commonly get a system at both houses. But
anyway,
yeah.
Back to Robin.
Robin was there. That really shocked me, because Robin's the victim in this situation.
Well, and I think it plays into his whole scheme of setting up Ironwood.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have in earlier episodes. Just let you know. Go on.
Oh, lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Because she made a comment about how his actions being secretive and all that are affecting people. So Jock's like, I can use that to my benefit. Be like, yeah, I agree with that. You can't be hiding this stuff.
He can. It was a really calculated risk. If Robin had seen someone that night, like we showed in that episode, Fiona point blank sees Scorpio Boy come right at her. And again, talking about she can use all that against Ironwood. If she strolls in with that evidence, all those people there can now blow up in Jacques' face. So it's an extra whatever.
Like, we definitely see how things are going to go against him, possibly.
Possibly, yes. And to that effect, going against James, it also kind of helped James to a degree, or at least as much as Winter, when she had that whole explosion about how you can't buy trust, you have to earn it. The one person in that room that liked that comment was Robin. Which
shows Robin's probably going to be more willing to work with them.
Or at least work with Winter.
Yeah.
I could see her have a conversation with
Winter, Blake, and Yang at least.
Yes, exactly. And I could see them meeting up, or like she'll meet up with Blake and Yang to get a meeting with Winter, and like only her, if anyone else finds out, no meeting happens, or she'll call it off or whatever. That classic happens every time there's a team. Yeah, and there has to be something happening at this party, or like to a degree something, because I didn't expect an entire party to be there. I expected it just to be a dinner, or I guess it's his victory dinner. So I guess that does make sense. There's a full-on party going on, and we have the Aesops plus Team Ruby there. So
we were wrong on how many people.
We were very wrong on that. Also, Whitley making the comment to James, hey, how big do you think our dining room table is? And then James goes, I happen to know it's gigantic. And I counted, they are 1 to 2 spaces short of fitting everyone on that table.
So they could have just slid in 2 more chairs.
They could have. So the whole comment of no one else, and now everyone's going to fit in there. Yeah, they will. Those chairs had a good 3 feet in between them. You easily could have stacked more chairs in. And I'm sure a couple of them wouldn't have minded standing.
More than likely, yes.
But, yeah, that's, man.
For the longest time, though, I thought Juniper was just not in this episode until they suddenly appear. I was like, oh, they are here.
Were they in the walk-up before we got there?
I don't remember. I didn't rewatch before starting this. I was like, because I just remember that whole time being like, oh, okay, I guess Juniper didn't show up. And then next thing I know, they're there. I was like, wait, were they there before?
Because I did rewatch it, and it's just Oscar and Team Ruby, and then it cuts, and then you see Ruby come out of the limo, and then you see the Aesops come out, and like they very easily could have been in a car behind them, but like, and since we got a little, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but I don't think you see them up until they're like, hey, we need a distraction.
Yeah, exactly. Then the editing of that scene is awesome.
I agree with that. That was funny.
Their music choices and everything everything has gotten better this volume. Such an increase on everything.
Yeah, and I know I mentioned that whole thing with Penny at the beginning of the season where she goes to tackle Ruby, how the timing I felt was awkward. The way they did the timing on this one was much better because you're seeing it all happen instead of it going back and forth.
Yeah, the way they chose to frame how it was going in that first one, it looked like she tackled her, reared back, and then tackled her again. But yeah. And then the stupidness of it hits that one woman, and then it's a solid 5 seconds. She throws her wine on Whitley.
I know, one of my notes is literally Grapehead because his hair just turned purple.
Oh, it was great. That was amazing.
That look on his face, though, I loved it.
Yeah. I was really shocked we didn't get a title card for her because we've gotten everything else. But, yeah. Yeah, that's really about it. That's
really all I have to say about it.
Nothing really.
My biggest thing was just seeing Oscar more involved with the group.
Yeah, like they're actual in team huddles. I was kind of shocked that Juniper wasn't in there.
Yeah, that part is still weird to me, but
is that, I don't know if that's because of Ren?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, Ren is being a little weird. Maybe they were discussing how they all feel. Maybe they just didn't put them in the scene at the time because they didn't want to add more models.
Yeah, like, and I saw Kim Newman, who I believe she works just for Sony Santa Monica now, but she used to be one of the head animators, if not the head animator at Rooster Teeth, and she's been pimping the show all over the place, talking about how anyone is godlike for trying to handle a 10-person animated scene. And I don't blame them. I just try and put simple effects for crack jokes on my YouTube channel, and it takes me hours to make a 15-second thing. But yeah, do you have any theories going on here other than hopefully Fit hits the Shan when
You
she
mean
comes
outside of
back?
my crackpot theories that I keep working on? Because he was there. Glasses Drunk was at the end. He was sitting on the stairs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I am living for my stupid crackpot theory.
Summer is convinced that Drunk Glasses is got, and it's the guy with the drunk in the glasses that trips over himself when we're in the first episode with the blue. He's shown up in almost every episode where he's available to show up in. We thought it was going to be Forrest you're going to see every time, but now it's this guy. She's convinced.
I count.
I know. She is convinced that something is happening with this guy. I don't know. I would be amazed if something like gets through the entire episode and then he's just nothing happens, but they need that one guy who is always their like their view through the people, I guess.
I'm sure that's all he is, but I am dead set on this. Look, they took Forrest away from me. Let me have this.
I love that. Yeah, that was it. Because like, there wasn't any. I normally try and, like I said, have our crazy Tumblr fanfic hour, but I didn't have one this week because Tumblr was just spammed with nothing but gifs of the conversation between Willow and Weiss. And
then Fair Game, of course, they were all over
and
that.
Then, oh yeah, that was the other one. To her and everybody else, the rest of the episode just didn't happen. So, yeah. Yeah, so unless you got something else, I think we can just...
Nope, I already talked about my crackpot theory. That's all that needed to happen.
Alrighty. Okay, that's it, everybody. As you'll notice, the last 2 weeks, I was incredibly late on getting them up because I got both of them up today. I have been archiving YouTube footage, and I've been using the gig right off my router to get it done faster because YouTube's getting weird and we're losing stuff. Gosh dang it, Lillian. These are apparently presidential slogans. Tumblr has failed us. This time, yes, they have. That is our admin, Blake, if anyone did not know, who has been periodically checking in on us in the chat. Yeah, Summer. Where can everybody see you? Does she have it ready? There it is.
Oh, there we go. You can find me as Ray Sketcha on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find me as Ray the Fanatic on Tumblr. I also have a Instagram set up for that account now too, and on Archive of Our Own. I promise I am working on Ruby fan fictions. I'm just working on my writing skills through other fandoms.
She has to finish her Darkwing Duck one first.
That's not the point. Anyway.
The disappointed look. All right, you can find me on this YouTube channel, and you can find both of us as admins on Review Revenant's Finest. Thank you, everybody, for what? Gosh, dang it!
I got it to work.
You got it to work. Look at it. It's even sparkling off your light. You have like little sparkles off their faces. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. No, 2 weeks. Hey, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everybody. Or Happy New Year's. We will see you next time. Bye.